Welcome, Ameen Nayfeh. Am I saying that correctly?
Nayfeh or Nayfa.
Nayfeh. Nayfeh.
Yes.
Yes, welcome. We just had the opportunity to watch your phenomenal film. It's really a great film, and it was an honor to screen it at the sixth annual Milwaukee Muslim Film Festival. Especially screening such a film at the historic Oriental Theater. It's in Milwaukee is really an honor. We wish you could join us and be in person, but we realize you're working on a film right now in France, and so you're a bit busy. You want to tell us a little bit about the film you're working on?
Actually, it's not my film. I'm helping a friend to make his because I went into the same process. I had to make a short film before my feature film.
Mm-hmm.
So he's my friend from film school, and we are putting our energy to give him the push that I had before.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful that you're doing that with him. So I really enjoyed your film. Besides the fact that it was a drama, and it really, I think, showcased Palestinian life in such a way that was so accurate. Yet at the same time, it wasn't so depressing. It showed a loving father, a loving husband, a wonderful family. There were many moments where we laughed, where you brought comic relief, for lack of a better word, and really helped keep the spirit of the film up. So tell us a little bit about the film, why you chose to make this film.
Yes, thank you. So actually, the reason why I studied filmmaking, not just this film, is the experiencing and also what I have witnessed as a child, as a teenager, growing up during the second Intifada, and witnessing what was happening in Palestine, and also the building of the wall, which is like the main antagonist in my film, because this affected my life directly. I was separated from my family, who are now on the other side of the wall. So yeah, this is why I chose to become a filmmaker, to tell the stories that I thought when I was a kid that nobody knows about, and it was the driving force actually that made me take this path.
That's great. So it had a very personal resonance for you. I think it was really interesting the way that you chose the different characters as well. Besides the individual family, I think so much of the film were the individuals that were traveling together, and it was this hodgepodge of people that is so typical, really, of, I think, what you sometimes see in Palestine, or visiting Palestine. The individual that presented herself as the German, for example, who was actually turned out to be Israeli, but also, the young men that almost have no fear of anything, you know the older individuals that have a load of responsibility and thoughts in their mind. How did you choose these characters?
So these characters are people that I know, that they are real characters. It was very important for me in the telling of this story to reflect, real life situations, because what the issue I'm tackling, which is the freedom of movement and the checkpoints, the watchtowers, the wall, everything is real. So I also needed real characters with real motives to cross the wall, to have this journey. And yeah, these are. And you talked about having the comedy, the light moments. This is real life. We are not always suffering. We are not always like crying or feeling oppressed. Yes, we are under occupation, but We are trying to live our life with the obstacles, with the occupation. We want to, tell a joke. We want to laugh. We want to be in love. So this is real people. These are real emotions, real situations, and how we react in our environment. So yeah, these characters are my friends. Myself. Some are from my family. So yeah, they are a collection of people that I crossed in my life.
That's great. And I think that, as an individual of a Palestinian background, this is something that I think you do see is that the wealth of culture and of family and friendships that allow people to not only survive, but thrive and get through such difficult situations. So you really, I think, you really captured that very well. Tell us, you said you still have family that lives there, and you know, for those of us that are sort of on the outside, it doesn't look like things are getting better. It looks like things are getting worse. In fact, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, actually, even in the making of this film, when I was traveling with the script to some European countries, when I said I had family on the other side, many did not like fathom the idea. There are 2 million Palestinians who carry the Israeli nationality, not because they want to, but because they were forced to. So my family comes my mother's family come from a Palestinian village which is on the other side of the wall in the occupied 48, and I am from the my father is thank you. So this is the director I'm working with. So and my father comes from the West Bank, uh, and before the wall, before there was the separation wall, movement was more free. We could travel, we could be there anywhere we want. But then it was decided that to build this wall, and they separated thousands of families, thousands and thousands. It's just it's not enough to talk here about what the wall, what are the consequences of having this ugly segregation tool. But yeah, it's I have so many painful memories because of this, because of living this life. I my family are just 20 minutes away from me, 20 minutes away, and I cannot see them. I couldn't have. I was not allowed the right to say goodbye to my dying grandfather. As like, so what can you do?
Yeah, this is these are the honestly, this is the brutality of the Israeli occupation that unfortunately the day-to-day lives that many people are not aware of, and the many people that, for example, even trying to desperately get to hospitals and die at the checkpoints. Again, these are the reality that is often not presented, unfortunately. You had a famous actor that appears in many films. He played the role of Mustafa, the father, and also the mother who was played the role of Selwa. Um, I'm always curious about these actors, how it was working with them.
Yeah, actually, when I started writing the script of 200 meters, I always had Ali Suleiman in my mind. He was the actor that I was imagining as
Hmm.
Mustafa. He was my producer talked with him earlier, and he was interested in the project. But when he finally read the script, he called me, and he was very happy with the story. But he was more happy when I told him I wrote this for you. I want to work with you, only you. So he appreciated this, of course. And when he knew that it was also coming from my personal experience, he took it very like it became personal for him as well. And for him, it's not very difficult to understand this because he lives in Palestine. Yes, he lives on the other side in Nazareth, from Nasri, but he knows these people. They are his friends. So and working with him, I was afraid because he's a star. He's like working in Hollywood. But yeah, he was like a brother. He was like my big brother and guiding me because he has like 20 years of experience, and this is my first film. Uh, and this fact actually was very interesting because I had Ali Sulaiman with his experience, and I had the first time actors.
Mm.
So I had a very different way, a very different approach to different characters.
Well, it came together extremely well, and it was a very, very well developed film. Do you have you as I know that COVID probably has affected things, but what has the response been to this film?
Actually, we had our world premiere in the Venice Film Festival last year,
Mhm.
and it was received warmly. We won the Audience Award at the Venice
Mhm.
Days competition. And after that, it traveled to many festivals from Busan in South Korea. And today it is released online in Mexico and Brazil.
Mhm.
So I'm very happy with the reach of the film. It is still traveling in Europe, in the Middle East, and in the United States also.
Mhm.
So, and we had a theatrical release in France and soon in Italy. So it is reaching people, and this is what I want. So yeah, I'm very happy with where the film is now and where it is still going.
That's wonderful. When you do you go back to Palestine?
Yes, yes, I live in Palestine actually. I just
Okay.
came. I'm in France to work with my friend, and I'm
Okay.
also traveling. I'm also traveling with 200 meters.
Okay.
I'm going to 2 festivals after I finish here.
Okay. All right. That's wonderful. So tell us what are some of your other plans for films? What thoughts do you have in mind?
Actually, I'm working on 2 projects now at the moment, developing 2 projects at the same time because it will take time anyway. So
Hmm.
so developing two is better than one. And I can share with you that one of them is also a political story about a Palestinian boy in 1974 Lebanon who dreams of becoming a football player, who dreams of becoming a famous football player, and he wants to play for the Lebanese league. When he's about to achieve his dream, the civil war starts, and we see how that affects his dream until we reach the real life event on which we are basing this film, which is the Sabra and Shatila massacre.
Wow, that's going to be a powerful film.
I hope so.
Um,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. That we will hope to screen it here and hopefully have you join us as well.
I hope.
Have you encountered any uh, pressure from the Israelis, for example, or other groups regarding this film?
Actually, no. I am. I was not. I did not feel like I was not affected by during the making of the film or after its
Mm.
release. So I was worried, to be honest, because many Palestinian filmmakers or artists get to be troubled because of their work, but I didn't have any incident so far. So I hope it stays like this.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. We hope so. And so the fact that you're living in Palestine right now, and do you still have difficulty seeing your family?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the
Nothing
same.
changed.
Nothing changed. I cannot. I was deprived of my grandparents. My grandparents were like my like they were like my second parents, you know.
Mhm.
I'm deprived of my uncles, of my aunts, of my cousins. I missed their graduation parties. I missed their weddings. I am, I'm missing my life. You know, I'm not part of the most important things for me, and it is still happening. It is still
Mhm.
happening. One day, my grandmother was visiting us in the West Bank, 70 plus years old lady, and on the way back, they were stopped at the checkpoint and they were asked for their identity cards, and she didn't have hers. She forgot it. They did not allow her to go back home. While if she was an Israeli settler living in the West Bank, they wouldn't even stop her. You know,
Mhm.
and this is one story. You know, this is a very simple story that no one would mention, but
Yeah.
you can imagine.
So we are, of course, you just your film just screened here at the Oriental, and what if you want to leave the audience with some messages? What would you want to tell them?
Well, uh, actually, many things, but maybe I would say one, which is the situation that we are living in Palestine is not a human. You know, it's not humane, it's not just, and I think many people share the responsibility for this. Uh, and we need to make pressure on our governments in the United States, in Europe, in all the countries that are aiding with military support, etc., to Israel and giving it this impunity. If you see this film, I reflect to you my real life, how we live today. If you think that this is normal, if you think that this is something that you accept for yourself, then it's fine. If you don't accept it for yourself, then I ask you to react to what you have seen.
Thank you. That's a very important message, especially because, without the US government, of course, Israel would not be functioning with such impunity and such brutality. And so it is a responsibility for each of us as American citizens to make our government answerable to this type of brutality. Do you see that art and filmmaking is increasing among the Palestinian population?
Actually, yes, I see it's growing. We are like more people are in the art or in the like the film industry. I see, but it's very slow, you know, because we don't have a real support from the government or from the institutions. You know, everything is an individual journey. This is my like 200 meters is my individual journey. I
Mm.
had to fight for so many years to make it happen, and I at some points I almost gave up. I thought this it is very difficult. I could not, you know, maybe I couldn't do it, but Alhamdulillah, I had the support and I did it finally. But yeah, there are many people that are very talented that want to make art and tell stories and tell the world about Palestine, but we are missing the support of our government, which does not put culture in its priority. And I talk about the Palestinian Authority.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and really, film and art and all of these types of mediums are so influential in affecting hearts and minds and bringing stories that people don't normally encounter. So it's we applaud you. We applaud the effort you put into this film. We know it was quite a struggle, and we hope to see more and more filmmakers coming out of Palestine, because it's definitely something that brings us great pride, and it's something that at least a message that we can carry to help our fellow citizens here learn more about the Palestinian cause. So that's a wonderful thing. So,
Thank you.
any last words, Ameen?
I think I said my message to
Yeah.
So I think I'm fine. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was a beautiful film. We wish you the best with the film with your friend's film, and also
Thank
with
you.
the potential upcoming films that you yourself are working on. Thank you for taking time to interview with us and to share your thoughts with the audience today.
Thank you very much. Thank you.